Now let's talk about the impeachment complaints filed against VP Sara Duterte this week. And joining us tonight over the phone is Bicol Saro Party List Representative Terry Ridon. He is also a member of the House Committee on Justice and chair of the Public Accounts Panel. Good evening, Congressman. Welcome to The Big Story.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
All right, you said that there's an express way of handling the impeachment complaints. May you tell us what these two possible tracks are?
Well, yung una po, yung pong referral po to the House Committee on Justice. This is the route that was undertaken for the President's impeachment. Pero one of the other modes for impeaching an impeachable officer is the express route. No? Pagka meron pong one-third of all House members which will file articles of impeachment, pagka meron pong ganon, there will be a direct transmittal to the Senate. This is the same mode that the House had undertaken in the last Congress. So all of these things are on the table for as long as no referral to the House Committee on Justice has yet been made by the House plenary.
Well, you have to move fast, as well as there are new procedures as stated by the Supreme Court decision, right, on VP Sara's case.
Yes, correct. We have to implement the Supreme Court guidelines on the 10 session days, no, for referral to the House Committee on Justice para hindi po maging deemed initiated po yung proceedings. So I think we have up until the first week or second week of March to do the referral. Pero up until that point, the one-third House members express route remains on the table. It's something that Congress can still undertake.
Do you still have the numbers? Do congressmen still have the appetite to do this? After all, the administration also, many are facing cases or possible cases with in relation to the flood control scandal.
Well, I don't think it's a question of appetite. It's always a question of accountability. You know? So, irrespective of whether it's a flood control matter or an impeachment matter, if it's within the mandate of Congress, I think we are duty bound to act on it. No? So, if the evidence exists to basically impeach the Vice President on confidential funds, on death threats to the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker, then I think the Congress will have to proceed.
Kasi dati, di ba, hindi naman binasa ng mga maraming congressmen yung complaint. And they were really just, how will we call it, corralled? Or anyway, it was really the strength of the leadership of the Speaker then that everybody fell in line.
Well, I cannot say for certain whether they were corralled, no? But I think what is important, for example, in the proceedings against the President, it should be based on facts, it should be based on evidence, and it should be based on their conscience. No? So that is the same principle that we expect House members to basically undertake when we consider the impeachment of the Vice President, irrespective of mode, whether it is through the House Committee on Justice or whether through the express route of one-third of all members.
At this point, Congressman Terry, which route is the Committee on Justice inclined to take? Are you going to go with the first track, or are you going to do the express route? Is there someone getting like a informal survey of what House members would prefer?
Well, there's no preference at this point, no? So what is currently standing would be the two impeachment complaints. So it is only a question of time as to when the referral will be to the House Committee on Justice. But we are making the note that the express route remains in place. Kasi nga po, that is still an existing mode for as long as no referral has been made to the House Committee on Justice.
We're also expecting, I think, maybe one or two more complaints to be filed early next week. Ironically, today is Feb 6. Supposedly, the original starting date again, pwede mag-file against the VP. Are you guys going to wait for that? And what's going to happen to those if, for example, there more are filed on Monday?
No, ang totoo po, they can file however complaint that they would want to file up until a referral is made. So, ibig sabihin, you can file 10 cases, 1,000 cases, for as long as there has been no referral to the House Committee on Justice.
Okay.
Okay lang po yun. The most important lang is the referral should be made Feb 6 onwards para safe po yun from constitutional scrutiny.
Pero if you opt for that express route, sinong tiga-baston dyan? There has to be someone who is, doing all that logistical work. Yeah, giving copies, getting those signatures, getting the support. Who is going to do that?
Well, that would be a bit premature to discuss at this point kasi there's no complaint to even talk about as yet, no? To do the express route. Pero I'm quite certain naman po, as long as the articles of impeachment, the draft of it exists, then baka meron ho magbabaston, as what you say. Dito po sa one-third vote to do it, to do the express route to the Senate.
But following the ruling of the Supreme Court, Congressman Terry, what are some things that lawmakers must keep in mind kung gagamitin nga itong express lane route para hindi ulit makwestiyon yung constitutionality nito?
Well, meron lang po two actual requirements na place po na guardrails ang Korte Suprema doon po sa motion for reconsideration resolution. Una, yung po endorsing congressmen, dapat meron ho silang kopya ng complaint ng articles of impeachment at yung po mga evidence supporting it. Tapos secondly, during plenary deliberations, dapat po lahat po ng House members meron pong kopya ng articles of impeachment at yung po mga supporting evidence. So, yan po yung mga linatag na mga guardrails ng Supreme Court pagka mag-undertake po kami na express route to the Senate.
And just to clarify, Kong Terry, so if magagather ng signatures, this has to happen even before plenary?
Tama po yun. Dapat meron na pong one-third vote, one-third signatures of all House members bago po isa lang sa plenaryo.
Okay, let's, I don't want to belabor this, but as to Ces's point and now with Pawi's, usually yung majority leader yung gumagawa nun, and that is, of course, Sandro Marcos. Have you spoken to him on whether or not he would recuse para hindi masyadong maging overly political?
I haven't spoken to Majority Leader Marcos, pero I'm quite certain naman po, marami naman po very interested to look at it as a method of impeaching the Vice President. So, antayin na lang po natin siguro pagka nag-materialize po itong another route of impeaching the Vice President. Pero as we speak today, syempre, yung pong referral to the House Committee on Justice, yan po yung pinaka-inaantay din po natin na most likely route po ng impeachment po ni Vice President.
And even if it's done by referral to the Justice Committee, it can still be fast-tracked.
Hindi na ho. Pagka po meron ng referral to the House Committee on Justice, yun na po yun. There can be no more express route. So, yung talagang kailangan na pong gawin would be to do the House Committee on Justice proceeding.
But what I mean is the Justice Committee can speed up its proceedings.
Well, I think the standard that we would want to undertake would be the previous standard that we had implemented during the President's impeachment. So there was a discussion on sufficiency in form and exhaustive discussions on sufficiency in substance. And then if it proceeds from there, then we will have marathon hearings on all of the grounds that were raised against the Vice President.
And how long would that take? Yun matagal.
It will really depend po on the endorsers and the complainants kasi syempre gusto rin ho natin himayin. But to be clear, we have 60 session days to basically dispose of it. So I'm quite certain hindi naman po kami lalagpas ng 60 session days to dispose of impeachment proceedings at the level of the committee.
Congresswoman Luistro was very firm na iisa-isahin, meaning each article in each complaint is debated on one by one. So we expect this will be how it would go also for the Vice President. But I wanted to get your thoughts, Congressman Terry, on consolidation. What's your opinion on that? Pwede ba yun o hindi?
Depende ho yun sa komite, kung magko-consolidate. So for example, in the President's impeachment proceeding, we did it separately, at the level of form and substance. I cannot say for certain, for example, if it proceeds to the next stage, kung mag-consolidate po yung committee. I think we have to wait for that to happen muna.
Kong Terry, kayo po ba ay may fearless forecast na dito sa magiging impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte? I understand you can't speak on the merits yet, but we all know naman pareho pa rin yung grounds ng impeachment complaint. Nandiyan pa rin yung culpable violation of the Constitution, bribery, graft, and corruption. Ano po ang forecast nyo dito?
Well, I don't want to forecast on the votes, no? And yung pong ending po nung proceeding. Pero, syempre, hindi man, like what stated, hindi nagbago yung evidence, documents from last year to this year. So kung yun po yung pagbabatay, mabigat po talaga yung grounds to confidential fund, mabigat po yung death threat against the President, the First Lady, and the House Speaker, former House Speaker. So, think ko, even on those points pa lang, even without talking about the Madriaga affidavit,
Yun yung tatanong ko
mabigat
sa'yo.
na po yan to proceed with proceed to trial.
Oo, yung
Ito pong impeachment ni Vice President.
Yung Madriaga affidavit, Congressman, do you think, how weighty will this be? Kasi base doon sa takbo no, nung debate kay President Marcos, kumbaga, I know this is notarized, right? Pero it's also just one guy saying this and that and having that document notarized.
Hindi, think walang problema yun. Kasi, for example, you just have to compare it naman po dun sa affidavit ni Roberto Bernardo. Wala naman yung debate. It was an affidavit made by a former undersecretary. So, ang mahalaga ho sa amin, it is based on personal knowledge and based on authentic documents. No? Yung naging pagkakaiba naman po dito, yung Zaldico video kasi was unauthenticated. Di ba? Wala man lang affidavit ni Zaldico saying na, no, these are my videos, you can actually use it for the impeachment. So, I think that needs to be clear. So, yung affidavit can be considered as part of the document list. Dito pong VP impeachment.
All right, so before we let you go, one final question. If you're saying that the express route is being considered, so it's going to be a busy weekend for the House of Representatives.
Well, it can be a busy month kasi yung pong 10 session days naman po will lapse by the first week or second week of March, I think.
Okay.
So, meron pa po tayong mahabang panahon yung Kongreso para magdesisyon whether we will do the Committee on Justice route or we will do the one-third route na express to trial to Senate.
All right, we thank you for talking to us this Friday night, Congressman Terry Ridon.